you still there?
Yeah, there we go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks so much for coming on to watch our webinar and listen in on our webinar. We're going to get started in another 5 minutes, 7 minutes or so. We're just going to wait for some more people to log on.
Meantime, you have some polls that you can, some questions that you can give your answers to. We can see the updates in real time.
You scroll down and click on polls. It was snowing just about a minute ago in Toronto, and now it's okay. So strange weather.
I hope everyone's enjoying their week so far. Keeping track of their days if you can.
Let's look at the first question of the poll. What do you find most challenging about working from home?
Well, for me, it's my children. That's always the biggest challenge. That is one of the biggest, especially when they're little. They're all under 12. So that's my biggest challenge.
Let's see, go back up to the starting downtown stream. I think my biggest challenge would probably be, maybe family distractions or staying motivated. I have a hard time staying motivated when there's not as much going on.
Yeah.
You like most about working from home? Missing the daily commute. It's fine.
Working in pajamas.
I like the working in pajamas as well. It's great.
Yeah, today I actually did my hair. I'm so excited to see you guys. Binge watching favorite shows. I feel like everyone's like watched Tiger King by now, or a lot of people are maybe planning on it.
So what have you done more of lately? Looks like working is 80%. For myself.
Really?
Yeah. To be honest, I've been doing a lot more reading as well, building up those skills, self-development.
I'm surprised people are find themselves working more, but maybe they feel like they have nothing else to do. I don't know. Let's see, can you just minimize that for a second, just so we can see how many people are on?
Hi, everyone.
Probably wait maybe another 7 minutes for everyone else to kind of get on their lunch break and get this webinar started up. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for joining.
Thanks, everyone, for coming on. I'm excited to chat with everybody today. Hi, everyone. I see everyone's messages on the chats. How's everyone doing?
For those of you in Vancouver right now, I'm so envious. I missed my flight back to Vancouver, and I'm in Toronto, and it was just snowing here like 10 minutes ago or so. There was like a big whiteout blizzard, which is just wild. And now it's sunny out again, so we have really interesting weather, but I've heard that it's a lot nicer in Vancouver.
As people are coming in, can you let us know how the sound is, how you're hearing the sound? Give us a thumbs up if it's good. If you hear a bit of an echo or anything, just let us know. We're trying to be on top of it. As we put in the beginning part of the chat, if you are having any issues, just refresh the page or sign back out, click the link to let you back in, and it can reset. If not, there will be a recording of this that will be going out to you later today. So if you do miss anything, or if you're having any issues, I'm sorry, but you'll be able to get a copy of it later on. Let's see. Sound is good.
Thanks
cool.
everyone for your feedback. Looks like sound is good and everyone's feeling great. So that's awesome.
Great. Looking back at our polls, I'm surprised that no one's finding it challenging to complete all their work tasks that they had set out. Good job, everyone. For those of you who haven't voted yet, so you can go, if you scroll down on the page, there's a section that says polls. You can click on those and you can vote in terms of the answers you feel most strongly about. What was that comment?
Yeah, I do feel
more.
It's very easy to fall into that trap of working more from home, working more when you're at home.
People like working in pajamas.
That will be interesting when we go back to normal. Are people going to start going to work in pajamas? A new trend.
Fridays.
You run it like elementary schools, pizza and pajamas on Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleeping time in that commute is huge. That's a plus. So we're gonna give this a few more minutes. And we're just waiting on a couple more people. Hopefully we'll start around 12:05.
Hi, everybody. I see the lovely chats. Hi, 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 and welcome.
So again, if you are having any issues on sound, let us know. So far, everyone's told us the sound is good. So we'll keep an eye on that. This is our first time actually using Webinar Ninja. So, you know, the go-to has been Zoom, I know, for a lot of webinars, but we just like this one. It's a bit more user-friendly. So yeah, so let us know how the sound is, what you think of it.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Let's check out the polls. What are people saying now?
Yeah, so I'm just actually looking at it. What do you find most challenging about working from home? It's starting your day on time. That definitely could be challenging because you need to separate work from home. So that makes sense.
I feel like everyone's having a harder time, like, yeah, I don't know, like waking up like on your scheduled time, and then I feel like everyone's making like gourmet breakfasts nowadays. Like lunches might make it difficult to start at 9. Scroll down here. Yeah, everybody enjoys not making the commute. It's huge. The person who clicked waking up 5 minutes before your day starts. Relate.
Getting up.
Oh, I like this, Nicole. Getting up isn't such an issue when you have toddlers. That is a true story because probably wake up is 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, that's funny. Or a dog. Yep, dog too.
6 a.m. That's for working at home.
Sometimes people just enjoy waking up early. You get a lot more done.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people.
I know everyone's saying, well, most people are saying that they're getting a lot more work done.
All right, so we're gonna get started here in a bit. One more minute.
Yeah, again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming on board and for listening in for our webinar today. We should be wrapped up before 1 o'clock, definitely. But if you do have any issues, again, in terms of connection, just feel free to reload your page. You can exit out and then click back on the original tab that you clicked on to get into the Webinar Ninja here. And then again, a recording will be sent to everybody as well. In case you do miss it and for some reason you can't get back on, we will send you guys a recording.
Let's get started.
Awesome. All right, guys. So everyone, I'm Lisa Ocello from Forge Recruitment. Thank you all for joining me today on this webinar. I hope everyone is keeping safe. I know that many people are struggling to adapt to what we call this new normal. Today, we are going to be covering some of our tips on balancing work and life while working from home. But before we begin the webinar, I'd like to introduce to you who is joining us today. So we have Brittany Mello, Managing Partner of our Vancouver Recruitment Division, and Giancarlo Barros, Managing Partner of our Toronto Recruitment Division.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. Giancarlo and I are sitting in today just to be here in case you guys have any specific questions. At the end, we're going to do a quick Q&A panel. And in case you guys have any specific questions about the legal or Vancouver, legal job markets in Vancouver or Toronto, we'll be here to answer those. So just let us know.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And then there's myself. So Lisa Ocello, I am the Senior Recruitment Consultant in the Toronto Recruitment Division here at Forge Recruitment. So throughout the webinar, again, just as Brittany and Giancarlo were saying, if you have any connection issues, including audio or video, please just try to refresh your page or close your tab and click the Join Webinar link that was emailed to you originally. If you are still having issues, please note that everyone will receive a recording of this presentation once it is completed. I'm now going to tell you a little bit more about Forge Recruitment and who we are. So Forge Recruitment is a boutique legal recruitment agency. We specialize in the recruitment of legal staff in both Vancouver and the Toronto area. We are a team of 6, and all of us work remotely from home. So over the years, we have had to learn and adapt to managing the work from home arrangement. I, just like many of you, am currently working from home with my family. Before we get started, I'd like to share with you a little more about my life with my 3 kids. It can be very challenging at times to stay focused and productive at work while you're at home. It can be even more challenging with children. As you see here on these slides, these are my 3 kids, ages 12, 10, and 7. All my children are very active in competitive sports. My daughter is in a competitive dance, with my 2 boys in competitive soccer. My middle son also trains with TFC Academy when he's not with his own academy soccer. So life is busy normally, but now there's schoolwork on top of it, right? Right. I've been having challenges adapting to this new world, and I am used to working from home on a regular basis. Therefore, I thought many of you might find yourself struggling with similar problems, as working from home may be a new setup for you. Now that you are exclusively working from home, physical boundaries between work and your personal life can feel almost virtually non-existent. Even if you are organized, it can still be difficult to successfully merge your career and household under the same roof. This can be especially true if you have little ones around as well. So today I will discuss with all of you some tips that I have been successful with putting the balance into place. And I will help you with some of the real life challenges we may be facing. So the main 3 takeaways for today are, number 1, how to effectively work from home and be productive. Number 2, how to maintain your personal life while working from home, and how to set a daily routine for your family. And then number 3 is the importance of maintaining personal well-being. If you have any questions as we go, please feel free to type them in the chat box, and I will try to answer them throughout the presentation. If not, I will answer them at the end when we open the floor to any additional questions. First, I want to look at how to effectively work from home and maintain productivity levels. Number 1, first and foremost, set up a designated workspace. You will want to set up a designated area for yourself. This is important for a couple of reasons. The first one is it will limit your distractions. You will want an area where you can focus and are away from any distractions. For example, working at your kitchen table where you have family coming in, cooking, grabbing snacks, probably not ideal. One study actually did find that if we are focusing on a task and we are distracted, it actually could take us up to 25 minutes to regain the same mental progress that we had prior to that distraction. Secondly, have a designated workspace will help your brain separate work from personal. Being able to shut the door of a room that you use as an office at the end of the workday will allow you to subconsciously step out of your workday and into your personal day. So just as an example, if you have a habit of doing work in your bedroom at night when you try to sleep, it will be hard for your brain to shut off as it subconsciously associates your bed and bedroom with work. So probably not a good idea. If you absolutely cannot work in a separate room due to space availability and you work from the kitchen table, make sure that at the end of your day, you're packing up your work, filing and storing it away. Don't leave it there. Place it in a bag, leave it in a closet, but move it away from your area. Your brain will find it hard to turn off. I see some Dina here saying that you have a great window seat. That's amazing. It's great to have that for fresh air, sunlight. I think that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing. The second point is create a schedule and plan your day. It's important to line up your day with set office hours. Have a plan and know what work tasks you need to get done in that day and when you plan to do them. So with this, it's easy to fall into a trap of scheduling personal tasks during the workday. However, it is best to keep your professional work and your personal work separate. Schedule your personal tasks outside of your work hours or on your breaks. Be sure to schedule breaks and take breaks regularly. You need to give yourself time to recharge. It may be tempting to sit and force yourself to focus all day for as long as you can, but in the long run, this will just lead you to burnout. Stand up and get some air. I normally take about 2 15-minute breaks throughout my day. Also, make sure to wake up at the regular time you normally would, as if you were going to work at the office. Start your day at the same time, take the same scheduled breaks, and end your day at the same time. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit more about managing family life and the importance of creating a schedule as a parent. If you have small children like I do, it is imperative that you schedule your day. Create 2 schedules for yourself. So a parent schedule and a work schedule. Your parent schedule will allow you to keep track of parenting tasks that you get done that day and what your children will be accomplishing. I keep this on my fridge because it is the visible spot in my common area of my house. Your work schedule will outline your tasks that you plan to accomplish at work that day. I keep this in my office space. The reason for creating these 2 schedules is the need to separate parent and business roles, which I know is easy, right? Not so much. As challenging as this might seem, we just need to do it. It's challenging managing work and parenting roles at this time. For example, you sit down and get ready to reply to a very important email that would usually probably take you about 3 minutes to reply to. But then your 1-year-old just dumped her brother's cup of water all over herself and is crying for you. And then your 3-year-old is now asking you to please read the Thomas the Tank Engine book. And your 12-year-old is needing help with a math question that just can't wait. Suddenly, the email that should have taken probably about 3 minutes to type and send has now taken you 30 minutes. And guess what? It's still not even sent. Now you're behind in your workload and you're feeling stressed and angry all at the same time. Does this sound familiar? I get it. I've been there many times. When you have these 2 schedules, you may need some flexibility. I find that it may help to your employer and work on an agreement of your schedule. Make them aware of how you have structured your day and where you may need some flexibility on your schedule at some points in the day. We find that some employers may not find the traditional schedule of 9 to 5 necessary right now, especially if your main tasks can and will be completed. Let's say between the hours of 7 to 3 or 8 to 4 or 10 to 6 instead. Also make sure that you give yourself some buffer time between completing tasks. This way, if something takes longer than usual or an unexpected distraction comes up, you won't get angry and frustrated. You have built in that extra time, so it's okay. Something else that I find incredibly helpful is starting off the day with a morning routine. This should be a morning routine for you as well as the kids. This can eliminate many of the challenges that parents face in the morning before even trying to start their workday. Here's an example of what mine looks like. 6:45 to 7:30, wake up and work out. Cannot start my day without my morning workout. 7:30 to 7:45, shower and get ready. 7:45 to 8:15, wake up the kids and get ready for the day. 8:15 to 8:45, breakfast together and go over each child and each other's daily tasks. 8:45 to 9, set up my work day, and at 9, ready to start my day. Done. Everyone is set, no stress, no tears. Everyone is ready for a positive and successful day. In addition to this, a few other tips I have for creating a schedule is making office hours and scheduling your lunch breaks away from your office space. You want to make sure your daily work is completed successfully. So if your hours at the office are 9 to 5, but now that you're home, little Johnny needs your attention, say from 12 to 2, then your new office hours could be something like 8 to 12 and 2 to 6, just as an example. Keep the amount of work hours consistent each day to manage your workload daily. As for your breaks, take your lunch breaks with your family. This is a great opportunity to spend some quality time, family time together and have lunch together. Also use this time to discuss any questions or obstacles that could interrupt your afternoon workday. The kids are usually at school and you're usually at office. So use this time to bond as a family. This is actually one of my favorite times right now is my lunch with my family. Another thing to keep in mind while making a schedule is that throughout the day, it is also important to keep the kids entertained. Seems easy, right? Not so much, especially when now it's entertainment all day long. You need to complete your own work and now entertain them too. Perfect. So how do we possibly entertain the kids all day while working? We make a schedule for each child and create, say, projects for them to work on and do. For example, let little Johnny work on a puzzle that he enjoys from 9 to 11. And when it's complete, let him know he will be awarded by a special treat or extra playtime. Remember, kids want to feel that they've accomplished a goal too. So keep it fun and educational all at the same time. This will make the kids feel good about their accomplishments and let you get your important work tasks complete and on track as well. A great website that I know of for kids to keep busy is called abcya.com. So abcya.com. This is an educational website where kids can have fun playing online games that are grade level appropriate and stimulating. My next point that will help you in managing your home life is to stay flexible and expect interruptions and distractions. As much as we need to stick to our schedule every day to balance our work and home life, also remember life happens and you will be hit with distractions. You need to know that they will happen, and when they do, you cannot get frustrated and let it ruin your whole entire day. When an interruption arises, which most likely might be your children, you need to quickly decide if it is something you need to deal with and action exactly at that particular moment, or if you can wait to handle it at a later time, either after work hours or during a break in your day that you've scheduled. If it's your child that is interrupting you, you need to assess what the interruption is. Is it something urgent that you will obviously need to handle it right there and then? But again, if you build in buffer time into your schedule on completing tasks, then you will not be as derailed when your child does disturb you. Remember, even when you were in the office, you would have situations come up. The new intern asking you for computer help, your coworker ranting about their morning commute, or even a call from your child's teacher to discuss little Johnny. So our distractions at home sometimes are not any different, and we need to remember that. I know this is a true challenge, and it will take a few weeks to find your new normal life and create a balance during this time. But please remember that just as you're feeling overwhelmed, so are your kids, if not even more. Work together on developing your new normal. Be compassionate to each other, and the end result will end with success for absolutely everyone. My final tip for managing family life is to ask for help. Remember that you will most likely have a support network around you, both in your work and also in your personal life. Use the support where you can. Work challenges can seem even bigger when you are at home, as you don't have any colleagues to bounce problems off of or troubleshoot with. But we are virtually connected, so don't be afraid to call, Skype, message a colleague with any problems. Keep your communication lines open. This will help fill the social void, but it is also good to know that your team is there to help you with any challenges or issues you may face. It would probably help to have set check-ins with your team and colleagues, especially if you are working together towards completing a task. For an example, our team connects every morning at 9 a.m. We go through tasks that we completed yesterday and what our plan of action is for the day, and also just chit chat about what we did the night before on a personal level. It's really great and it helps us stay focused. When it comes to your personal life, especially if you are parenting, it is very common to think that you always have to do it yourself, right? I hear you. I don't like asking for help, and I think I can do things all on my own. However, right now, you need to remember you have a lot more than normal on your plate. You're a parent, a teacher, a soccer coach, and a dance instructor for your children. And don't forget, you also still have a full-time job on top of that. Yes, we are superheroes, but we're definitely not robots. So I've come to terms that we physically and mentally can't do it all successfully. And guys, that's okay. It's okay to ask grandma to do virtual homework with little Susie, or Auntie Patty to read a book virtually with little Johnny. As much as you might feel like you're interrupting someone or bothering them, they're actually probably missing your little ones and will value spending the quality time with them. So go ahead and use your resources. Call grandma, call Auntie Patty, or even Uncle Frank, and schedule with them to help you. A good time to schedule this would be during important meetings or tasks that require your full concentration. The final topic for today is maintaining your own personal well-being. This is really important, and it's something that we tend to neglect and forget about, especially when we are so busy trying to keep everything else afloat, like our careers and our family lives. The first tip for maintaining our well-being with our colleagues and at work is to pick up the phone and make a phone call. Instead of sending lengthy emails to communicate and get your point across, pick up the phone and call your coworker or call your client. Reconnect and have a friendly chat. You'll be surprised how much better hearing someone else's voice makes you feel, rather than read their words over a computer, especially during this time of isolation. By making a phone call, you will save a ton of time and useless emails back and forth, just a few simple points across. The next tip for maintaining well-being with our colleagues and at work is video calls. I'm sure that the majority of our offices are already on video call trends right now, whether it's via Skype, Zoom, or even Microsoft Teams. We have even seen a few amazing offices hold virtual bingo or trivia nights, and we ourselves have had a virtual happy hour, which is exactly what it sounds like, where we enjoyed drinks, snacks, and played virtual Pictionary. It totally was a lot of fun. These types of fun activities brighten everyone's day, and we feel purposeful with getting ready in the morning, brushing our hair, or pulling out our favorite wine glasses video call. In regards to maintaining a well-being on a personal level, it's really important to get some fresh air. It's as simple as opening up a window while you work or going for a short walk. The more fresh air you get, the more oxygen you will breathe, which increases the amount of serotonin we inhale, which is also known as our happy hormone. The first tip is to sing. As silly as this may sound, singing actually releases endorphins, the feel-good chemical that's in the brain. Because singing requires deep breathing, it draws more oxygen into the blood and causes better circulation. So this is a natural stress reducer. So pull out the karaoke machine and sing. It's a lot of fun. I do it. In conclusion, remember that trying your best is the most important thing you can do right now. It's important to understand that this is also a work in progress. It is trial and it's error. Be patient and kind with yourself as you learn and adapt to all of this. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I will now open the floor to anyone who has any questions in regards to working from home, balancing family life, maintaining well-being, or any general questions about the legal market or job market at this time. I see Sarah said, at the end of my workday, I shut the home office door and put an office closed post-it note on it so that I can separate work from home. I think that's fantastic. It's also it's virtual, it's visible, and it makes you not want to go in there. I think that's great. Thank you for sharing that.
That's a great idea, Sarah.
Anybody else have any questions?
We'll give it a few minutes.
I know when I first started working from home, now this is 3 years ago, the biggest challenge was definitely like trying to separate the work from home. So your brain your brain is just subconsciously running or working nonstop. So which can kind of deflate you or burn you out. So it definitely is important to have some type of separation, or a room where you do everything the work wise, and then just a place that you can get away, or else it can really catch up with you. So
what's the best advice you can give to candidates who have been laid off in Vancouver? So in terms of managing our Vancouver legal recruitment, it's really interesting. Like, we've seen a lot of firms have sort of slowed down definitely with their hiring. We have a lot of firms that have that are, like, temporarily either closed, or they have all of their staff sort of working remotely, and a lot of them have gone on hiring freezes. In regards to the best advice I can give to candidates, I would say being patient is probably the most important thing at this time. It's really interesting because as the firms have sort of gone down this road of hiring freezes, we have a lot of the in-house corporations that we work with. And those in-house corporations are actually, we've seen sort of a spike in terms of their hiring. So I would say being patient is probably the most important thing at this point. Even our in-house roles that are moving and that are interviewing, there is a lag in terms of having somebody go in on an interview, waiting to hear back, having them go in for the second. So we're sort of, I think patience is key, and just kind of not being too picky, because there's not as many roles out right now in the market.
Thanks, Maria. Anka says our office has a town hall meeting every Monday, so that's really good, just so everyone knows what's going on. I think it's really easy, if you're not keeping in touch with your team members or your colleagues, to fall behind on what's going on and what everybody else is doing, and B, oh, sorry, Mary also had a question, but B, you don't want to be left in the dark. You want to have that support. It can also feel like you just you have just too much going on if you feel by yourself or you're isolated. So having that team call every Monday is really, really good. And then the virtual drinking on the Thursday, I mean, that's always a good thing. But that's just a good way to de-stress. I guess, Mary, suggestion on managing a toddler, Lisa.
Yeah, so Mary, I think that's a really great question. Especially a toddler, they're little, they're very active, and their attention span is very minimal. So my suggestion to you would be, honestly, find something that your toddler likes. As an example, if it's a little boy who likes Thomas the Tank Engine, get some trains out and, get him to build a track, and have him do that to keep him busy. Whatever activities you find that is interest your toddler is what I would recommend, because they will keep them active and busy.
Lisa, when your children were very small, what did you do with them? How did you juggle both things?
Yeah, so exactly that. So for just as an example, with my daughter, she was very much into Dora, and I had buckets full of Dora stuff, so that when I needed to per se distract her and keep her busy due to tasks or important meetings that were a priority, I would make sure that I would utilize that bin. I used to call it my emergency bin, and I would utilize those toys in there because it kept her very distracted during the time needed. I also used to use family. I mean, family is there, and if I knew I had a task that needed my full undivided attention all day long, I would reach out to family for support
and
as
I guess
well.
now, because everyone's self-isolating, you can still call on family. You just have them video call in. I mean, you could maybe set up the Zoom or the Skype on the TV, or set something up where they can kind of virtually interact. I mean, or you just give them the phone and you put your kid to work. One of those.
Yeah.
I was actually going to mention another good tip in terms of keeping your toddler busy. prior to getting into recruitment, I was a teacher, and I worked with a lot of younger kids in kindergarten classrooms. Something that really helps when you have young kids is to have, like Lisa said, sort of buckets full of things that they enjoy, but to rotate those. So to hide away certain toys and then to only take them out and sort of swap them so that they see something new, and then they'll be more excited to play with that toy when you do pull it out. So kind of having a closet where you store everything and then you rotate buckets. Got a few other questions here.
So how do I deal with clients in different time zones? How do you tell yourself to step away? That's a tough one. I think we easily fall into the trap too, given that we operate on both coasts. We're kind of on the phone all the time. I mean, you can just, we know someone who just turns their work phone off at say 8 o'clock and doesn't look at it till the next day. If you have two separate phones and you have a work phone, you just turn it off and put it away and leave it in your office. I mean, again, the very serious urgent things people will email, call multiple times, leave a voice message. But again, when you look at your day and you look at how many things are actually very time sensitive and urgent and need to be actioned right away, it's actually quite only a few. So it's easy for us to feel this trap that everything we do has to be done right away. But if you step back and say what's actually immediate and needs to be done, action right now, and what's urgent, it's very few. And a lot of this stuff can be planned. The other thing too is you can just let your clients know if they're, depending on your relationships with them, if they know that you're working in a different time zone, and just give them kind of those parameters.
And I manage our Vancouver recruitment, and oftentimes I'm in Toronto. And so what I normally do is sometimes like I'll leave my phone at home and I'll go for a walk and I won't take it with me. And that's kind of a really good way when I finish my workday to sort of separate me from my work. And then when I come back home, I'll make dinner and then I'll relax. So I usually try to like stop what I'm doing, leave my phone in a place and go do something else. And I like to get out and go for a walk usually.
Nicole, I have two toddlers. I tend to work in spurts. So I set up an activity for them to do and then work for an hour and then change the activity and back to work. That's really good. So you cycle through it. Again, I think the big thing too is just having your own set schedule, one that works best for you, and adhering to it. That's the big thing. Just to kind of make yourself stay productive and effective.
I liked Katya's comment on quick thinking trivia-based games on the happy hour calls. That's really fun. We played Pictionary, like Lisa mentioned, as a team all together during our happy hour last week, and it was a lot of fun. We played on via video.
It was. Also, Nicole, I like kind of what she does. She has two toddlers, and she kind of breaks up her day. So I think that's great. Every hour changing activities. I think that's fantastic because especially with toddlers, like I mentioned before, their attention spans are very minimal. So I think that's fantastic. So good job.
So Lana, what are some resources or tips you're doing to help manage your stress and mental health during this time?
Yeah, so I know that, especially the people on here who have children, moms and dads, and it's definitely challenging because we used to have somewhat of a break when they were in school, right? So there's a lot more stress there. For myself, it's just being active. As you saw, my day starts off with working out. That is my biggest mental and stress reliever. I need that every day, and I need to start my day with my workouts. It helps me. It's my time to myself, and also reading. If you're a reader and you enjoy reading, use that at the end of the day. When the kids go to bed, have that time to yourself, grab a glass of wine and a book and just relax.
Right. I think anything that does, I find cooking is a good stress reliever, going for a run, just anything that's different, cleaning up around the house. Anything that kind of lets my mind focus on something else, I find personally is just a break.
Yeah. I like the declutter. I love doing like a good clean, sort of just throwing everything out the door that I don't need. I think that really makes me feel better and like less stressed. And just having like a very clean, open space to work in.
Has a question about teenagers. Lisa, your son is almost a teenager, so
Yeah.
you might be able to answer this one.
Yeah, okay, so let's take a look here. So advice on dealing with teenagers tend to take too long getting them going with their day. Right, I get that, because a lot of teenagers, my son is already going through this where they want to sleep all the time and just do their own thing. I get that completely. Honestly, it's about creating the habit. It takes 28 days to form any sort of habit. It's going to be a struggle, but take baby steps. So for example, if your teenager wants to sleep in till 11 o'clock in the morning, start off by getting them up at what time you need them to get up for. So if it's 8 o'clock, take baby steps. Maybe do it every other day until you get to the habit of the 5 days a week. It's trial and error right now. And remember, this is new to them too. So my suggestion is just try to create a habit, but don't overwhelm. Take baby steps to do it.
Michelle does a midday workout, so that's really good too. Again, just anything to break up your day.
Lisa, that's similar to what you've been doing with your kids, right? You've been doing like boot camps with them, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. So I started my own, just to give you guys a little bit of excitement that I've had in my house here, but I've created gym memberships for my children, and I am their personal trainer. So we have a gym space in our basement. So they are now members to Mummy's Gym, and they're gold members. So they have access to everything and free personal training. So it's just to keep them active and keep them entertained. It's something fun and different. And they half the time, it's just a lot of fun and giggles, and it's quality time with them too. So it's great. Just all I can say is be creative, depending on your child's age. I mean, obviously they're teenagers, that might not be fun for them. But for your little ones, just be creative. Think about what they like to do and what, where their interests are, and use those to help them.
That's awesome. And I liked Alex's point on the extra FaceTime and in terms of how you guys are managing your schedule in the office. I think like that's so important right now, like doing having video calls, like Lisa mentioned, doing phone calls rather than sending emails. Like do all you can, because we're clearly not seeing each other in person. Do all you can to communicate and hear somebody else's voice and see them over video call. I think that that's so important in just kind of keeping us together and feeling, good and not as stressed and keeping our spirits up. Michelle.
So it looks like Madison here, she enjoys her midday workouts. It's her stress reliever, so that's great. If that keeps you going, I think that's fantastic. Good job.
That's awesome, Michelle.
Any final questions before we wrap up? No? All right.
So guys, I do hope these tips will help you. Please email me directly with your success stories or what tips helped you the most on creating your new balance, or with any questions you may have along the way. My direct email is on the slide here, lisa@forgerecruitment.com. Also, if there are any other challenges that you might be having with balancing work and life while working from home that you would like some guidance in, please feel free to reach out. I really am grateful and thankful for all of you joining us today, and I hope this helped. Thanks, guys. Have a good day, guys.
We'll be sending out a copy of this to everybody. So you will have the recorded copy sent via email. So we will get that over to you guys later on today.
All right.
But thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Bye, guys. Thanks.